Hello, my name is Rob and welcome to Metal Monthly. This is a video series where we discuss everything that happened in metal music over the past month, pretty obviously. It's chill, it's laid back, I have a coffee, sometimes a beer, I talk to you first and we talk about metal music. What more could you want? Do you like my new mug, by the way? I got it as a birthday present to myself. It's Disney. Anyway, first off is albums. What albums came out in November? How is it November already? What? First off, I looked at the list of albums that came out in November and I didn't recognise most of the bands. So I basically just picked a few bands from different genres of metal and I gave them a listen. Let's see how they are. First off, we have Bad Wolves with Die About It. So the album name Die About It, I'm guessing is a joke on the phrase Die Mad About It. I'm guessing, like, it's a weird name for an album, right? So online, this band is classified as just heavy metal, which is very vague and unhelpful, especially because this album is the furthest thing from bland, generic heavy metal that you've ever heard. They really tried a lot of different things on the album and I really appreciate it. There is fast, thrumming guitars, really good riffs, there is some really heavy stuff, there is some really light stuff, there are some really light vocals in there. It goes all over the place and it's really enjoyable. In places there's rap and it's not unnoticed, but it's not unwelcome either. It's such an interesting album. Daniel Laskowitz, the vocalist for the band, said, "Nobody is against any idea in the studio. That's the most beautiful thing about this. There's no limitations. We went to the far ends of the really soft and the extreme. We made it a point to separate ourselves from the past and make this our own." I really appreciate bands that try new things, and this is a very interesting album. I really recommend people check it out because even whatever genre of music you're into, there's probably going to be bits in here you quite enjoy. Next up, Green Lung with This Heathen Land. Now this band online is classified as a stoner doom metal band, and I fucking love me some stoner doom metal. It might be my favourite genre of metal music. But I listened to this album, and I wouldn't call it stoner doom metal at all. It is a throwback to 70s and 80s heavy metal music, which I enjoy, it's good, but nowhere is it anywhere like stoner doom metal. The music isn't slow and distorted at all. There are some really fast guitar solos in there. At points, it sounds a little bit like Ghost. I want to say disco-y, and that's not really the right word. Basically, if you are a fan of Ghost and you want to expand your horizons a little bit, check this out. I genuinely think you'll enjoy this album. Next up, we have Gamma Bomb with Bats. So this is an Irish thrash metal band, and again, I love me some thrash metal. I had to check this out, especially because they're Irish. I don't feel like I cover a lot of Irish heavy metal bands on this series. So first off, the cover of this is amazing. Again, it's a throwback to like the horror movies in the 60s and 70s with that very defined poster style. I love it. It really put me off on the right foot with this album. So this is some really enjoyable thrash music. It's really grooving and fast and headbanging. They want you to enjoy this album and like move along with it. The vocals are very clean, but they've got that very, I don't know, 70s heavy metal vocalist style that's a little bit posh. Is that the right way of putting it? I can't think of another way. It sounds good, but it's got that distinctive like 70s heavy metal style that I can't put my finger on. Where's Beth Rawls? She could explain this. So I was really enjoying this album. It's got punch, it's got energy, wants you to headbang to it. It's such a good thrash album. And then the second song comes on, which is called Living Dead in Hollywood, and oh, this is where I started to really like this band. This is where they really started to remind me of Municipal Waste. That's kind of fun thrash heavy metal, that it's got a tongue-in-cheek style to it. So this is all about the undead rising in Hollywood and celebrities becoming zombies. It's very fun, but it's also a really good thrash song. I like thrash and I like bands that have got a good sense of humour, then this band does both. This is my favourite album of this month, 100%. It might even be in my top albums of the year, that's how much I really enjoyed this. And finally, because it's December, we have Tarja with Dark Christmas. Tarja, is that how you pronounce her name? It's the singer from Nightwish. So she has done a Christmas album full of covers of Christmas songs, and I had to check it out. So basically, it's like when Bad Religion did their covers of Christmas songs, which by the way is one of the best Christmas albums ever. Everyone should go listen to it all the time in December. It's so good. Anyway, Tarja has also done basically the same kind of thing, covering different songs in her own unique operatic style that sounds amazing and goes so well with some of the songs and turns some of them into weird songs. There is music that goes along with her vocals, but her vocals are absolutely the star of the show. Any music is basically just there for atmosphere, to add a little bit to it, to give it a little bit more depth, but mostly we're focusing on her singing, which sounds amazing. So the first song on the album is The First Noel, and done in her style Oh my god, it might be the best version of the First Noel I've ever heard. My other favourite is Weezer's version, which obviously doesn't sound anything like this. But if you're thinking that she's just going to do covers of famous Christian hymns, like the First Noel, well, let me just tell you that another song on the album is Frosty the Snowman, and another song on the album is All I Want for Christmas Is You. These are odd songs to do in her style. Like, they're fun, but I don't know how well they work. Frosty the Snowman is not meant to be done in that slow operatic style. It's meant to be a fun, jaunty song. And let's face it, who else could do All I Want for Christmas Is You except Mariah Carey? No one else's cover is ever going to be as good. But overall, it's a fun song if you like heavy metal and you like Christmas. There you go. I don't know what else I can give you. So yes, a bit of a weird month for albums, but some pretty good stuff came out of it. Next up, we have Music Festival Explorer. This is my website where I talk about heavy metals, music festivals, everything around that. This month I have written a blog post about Blink-182 and some misheard lyrics. So, in the song What's My Age Again, do you think that that lyric is I wore cologne to get the feeling right? Basically, either you're currently saying, obviously that's not the line, or yes, obviously that's the line. Either way, check out the link in the description to find out if you're right. And finally, we have the fun story from last month, and obviously I have got to talk about the sequel to This Is Spinal Tap. So Rob Reiner was on a podcast recently talking about the movie. They're going to start filming it next year. It's going to have all three of the main cast reprise their roles, and it's also going to have cameos from Paul McCartney and Elton John. So this makes me a little bit excited. Hopefully it's going to be an amazing movie, but there is a little part of me that is worried that it's actually just going to be a shameless cash grab based on nostalgia. But come to think of it, a shameless cash grab based on nostalgia, if that was the plot of the movie, that'd be a pretty good Spinal Tap movie, right? Anyway, that is all from me. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please do click like and subscribe wherever those buttons are. It really helps me out. And remember the immortal advice from This Is Spinal Tap. Have a good time all the time.